We're just going to go through in a bit more detail compared to last lesson how we can use stacked column graphs to interpret bivariate categorical data from a two-way frequency table or percentage frequency table and make sense of that data to be able to comment on any association that might exist. So we'll continue with the example we did on Friday, which was about gender and political parties. And we'll just start with looking at a column percentage frequency table. So a column table means that the explanatory variables being totalized down the columns. And we end up with the percentages being percentage of males and females in each of the two parties. Now, when we do a stacked column graph this way, along the x-axis, if you like, of the column graph is the explanatory variable. So the columns are represented or are representing the explanatory variable categories. So the explanatory variable in this representation is party membership. So our two columns are party A and party B, being the two categories of the explanatory variable. Each column is then made up of the response variables, so the male and the females, okay? And each column has the same height because we're not talking about actual values or numbers here, we're talking about proportions or percentages. So party A is made up of males and females, so obviously added together the height of that column is 100%, likewise for party B. When it's represented this way, it can be easier to visually determine any trends and associations between the variables. So a stacked column graph, if you like, as mentioned here in the words, is the way that we visually represent or graphically represent categorical bivariate data, because we're unable to use a scatter plot and then come up with a trend line as we do for numerical data, because we don't have that ability with categorical data. So in effect, the stacked column graph is to categorical data what the scatter plot is to numerical data, if we think of it that way. So visually, just looking at the proportions of males and females between the two parties, what we're looking for with an association is a clear, distinct difference in the percentages between our categories. Okay, and it needs to be a consistent difference. So what I mean by that is it is almost the converse. So if we look at party A here, there's 16% females, as where with party B, there's a lot more. There's 37% females. And conversely, when we look at the membership of males, we've got 84% here, and there's a corresponding decrease in males. So there's the converse trend happening here between the two, and they're consistent and significant. So therefore, we can determine from that there is an association between party membership and gender. So just to reiterate, the columns represent the explanatory variable, and the columns are made up of proportions of all the response variables. And from there, we can glean any association that might visually appear from the column graph. You can sometimes determine association and trends just from the percentage two-way table, although it is just so much easier by visually looking at a stacked column graph. In this course, stacked column graphs may be specifically assessed in a test or an exam, but in the history of all the WACE exams, there's been very little questions that directly ask for a stacked column graph to be written, but it is a really handy skill because it helps you identify associations. So even if you don't have to do a stacked column graph in a question, in a test or an exam, it sometimes helps to sketch one to help you identify trends. So it's a useful and helpful skill and an important skill to have. And in theory, there's the possibility it could be tested as well. Let's have a look at another example. So this is an example of a survey that was done students that go to a school, between middle school students and senior school students, and how they travel to and from school. So this data represents the results from that survey. What I want you to do, and just pause the video as you're working through it, is state the explanatory and response variables and then determine an appropriate row percentage table from that. So it's clear from this that the explanatory variable is going to be the school campus that you're in, and the response variables will be your mode of transport. So in this case, it's a row percentage table with the explanatory variable being totalised across the rows, and that's what you should have got to the nearest percentage. The next is to then, from that, sketch a stacked column graph from that data, and then observe from that any association that might exist between school campus and transport modes. So pause it and then come back and have a look. So that's our stacked column graph. Of course, because our explanatory variable was the campus that you're in, the two categories of the explanatory variable in middle school and senior school, so they're represented as the columns, and the columns are made up of all the categories of the response variable, being bus, car, train, and other. Now, once we look at that, you can see from here, although there are very slight differences, there's no significant distinct difference in changes between the categories between middle school and senior school. So you can conclude from that essentially that there is no association between mode of transport and whether you're a middle school student or a senior school student. So that's an example of how you identify a lack of association, where there is no distinct and consistent change between variables or proportions of variables. So the last one is this one. So a number of men were asked which were their most preferred types of movies or movie genres, crime, romance or horror. So a survey was done and a two-way table was generated. Okay, so we've got age categories here in the rows, 21 to 35, 36 to 50, 51 to 65. And our film types or film genres are crime, romance and horror, and the data's accordingly put in here. So what I want you to do is draw a row percentage table. So that's what this looks like here. So we're just totalising the percentages of all the different film types out of each age group. And we do that, remember, by dividing or calculating the proportion and then converting to a percentage of each of these categories out of a total of each age group. So here we've got 26 plus 11, which is 37, plus 67 is 104, if my maths is correct. So there's a total of 104 people that were surveyed between 21 and 35. So 26 out of 104 of those people like crime movies, which represents 25%. And then so on across all the different categories. So then the next question was to draw a stacked column graph for that. So pause and do that, and then come back. And that's our stacked column graph. So because there's a lot of data going on here, this is where stacked column graphs really come into play, because it's a lot easier to visually represent associations or lack of associations when it's shown to you visually and graphically. So as the age categories are the explanatory variables, they are represented as the columns, and the columns are made up of the response variable categories, totalising up to 100% each. So we can see from here that, in fact, at least for the romance genres, there is no association. You can see really, basically, that there's no difference in the preferences towards romance movies between all the age categories. We can also see here that there's a slight, but not, I would say, significant change in percentages between our age categories here, our two older age categories, 36 to 50 and 51 to 65, amongst any of the movies. So there's really no association as such between these two categories here, or these two columns, 36 to 50 and 51 to 65. So you could almost consider those as one complete age category. But when you compare the two older age categories to the younger age category, there is evidence of an association. There is a distinct difference and change between horror movies and crime movies as you go from the younger age category on the left column, 21 to 35, and the older age categories. So there's a bit that you can discuss about this. There are some associations and some non-associations. So you could summarise it by saying the ages of 36 to 50 and 51 to 65 show similar proportions of preferred film genre. However, there is a distinct difference between the first column, age 21 to 35, and the other two old categories. And this is in relation to horror and crime movie genres. And it is clear that people within the younger age group of 21 to 35 have a greater preference, roughly 73% more on average, towards horror movies than the older age categories, and a lesser preference, approximately 50% of, crime movies compared to that of the older age categories. However, all age groups have the same preference towards romance movies, as we said, because there's no real change or discernible change at all in percentages there. So you could comment that there is an association between 21 to 35 age groups and the 36 to 50 and 51 to 65 age groups as a block, and horror and crime movies. But that's about the extent of the association. So that just brings to a conclusion a bit of a discussion around those three examples. There's more in the CLUP textbook if you want to have a read through, and just read the lesson plan on that and just work through some practice questions out of CLUP exercise 1C. Cheers guys, see you tomorrow.